It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search it out. And that's just basically saying, things that I've mentioned before. If somebody does something wrong to you, you don't talk about them. You don't bring that to somebody else. You keep it to yourself, as difficult as it may be. God wants us to just be the bigger person and not search it out, right? Not give in to that temptation to tell somebody else what someone did to you, for two reasons, I think. Well, first of all, I've talked about so many times, division, right? When we talk about other people, it brings division between two people. That's how Satan operates, through division. And second, sometimes we're offended, and it's not that the person necessarily hurt us, but it's that we are just easily offended. So I think those are two reasons why, instead of trying to tell someone else what someone did to you, you just keep it concealed. I thought I knew what this means. Take away dross from the silver, and the vessel's ready for the silversmith. Just reading it over. But I looked it up anyways, just in case. And I was pretty much going in the right direction. So the dross is kind of like tarnish or anything that doesn't belong on the silver. It makes it unclean, makes it, I don't want to use the word ugly, but it devalues the silver, right? So basically the dross devalues the silver. But when you take it away, it's ready for the silversmith. So we are the silver. And God encourages us to get rid of sin so many times in the Bible, because if we are sinning, then we truly don't have the Spirit of the Lord in us. And we are all sinners, right? We are all sinners. So, if you are purposefully in sin and you are doing that over and over, knowing that you're sinning and not doing anything about it to stop sinning, that's what I mean. We're all sin, we're all human. So this is saying, don't push yourself. Don't try to push yourself to be in front of other people. It says it's better to be told, come up here. It's better to get to that spot, not by pushing yourself somewhere that you were never intended to be. And sometimes you perceive stuff in a way that you shouldn't. So really it says, sometimes you may see something, don't bring quickly, right? So just because you see something doesn't mean that that's how it is. Things they're not always what it seems. For what will you do in the end when your neighbor puts you to shame? When you figure everything out, or when you talk about it to that person and you realize. I hope I'm explaining this okay. I've definitely been there. I've assumed something because I saw it and I quickly brought it up to the person instead of taking time to think about it and then, just leave it alone for a little bit. And then when I bring it up, usually probably my husband, then, he'll say, no, it's this, this, and this. I don't know. Hopefully I explained that okay. If you have someone that you can trust, truly trust, that that I'm going to tell them this and they're not going to say anything to anyone, value that person with all your heart, because that's hard to find. Do not disclose someone's secret. If you are saying something, hey, I'm going to tell you something, but don't tell this person. Don't do that. As soon as I hear that, I think, okay, well, I'm not going to tell you anything. That's exactly what I think in my head. Because, he who hears it will shame you and your bad reputation will never end. You won't be trusted. If someone tells you something, don't tell someone else. Leave it, keep it to yourself. That's something that I value. And, maybe you're thinking of someone who's like this, but also think about yourself. Like I always say, don't be this person. If I have someone that tells me something, hey, don't say this to anybody, I really won't, even if it's my husband. There's memes, not telling anyone doesn't mean my husband or my boyfriend. I don't know. I don't agree with that. It really means not telling anyone. Patience and a soft tongue. Doesn't seem like anything that's too persuasive or aggressive to get your point across. But, if you are quick to anger and if you argue with people, so maybe, like a significant other or a parent or a child, whatever, if you're doing it, by being quick-tempered, and if you're not having a soft tongue, if you're arguing and yelling and being aggressive or abrasive, that's not going to get you anywhere. It says, by patience a ruler can be persuaded and a soft tongue can break the bone. You don't have to yell. You don't have to be impatient. Sometimes with my kids, I get impatient, but if you just take a deep breath and count, that's exactly what I do. I'll just stop before I open my mouth and say something. I just count to 10, and I think, it's not that bad. It's gonna be okay. Sometimes that helps. Again, the Bible talks a lot about having control. I think it's so important to have control. And this says honey, but I think you can replace that with a lot of things, It's interesting that it says honey and not like vegetables, right? Honey is sweet, something that you should have only once in a while. Eat only as much as sufficient for you, or you will have too much and vomit it up. If we have too much of a good thing, it's not what God calls us to do. He wants us to give more than we receive. So when you receive, what do? Do you give back, or do you keep it all for yourself? This reminds me of the saying, fish and company go bad in 3 days. If you're always showing up at someone's house, it can get a little bit old. And as always, think about it as yourself. Be that faithful person when someone's in trouble, and just be there for them. Doing something good for someone that has hurt us, it says that you will heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord will reward you. That's the whole point of Christianity and following Jesus. Giving to those that hurt us is difficult. Giving to those who have been good to us, that's easy. But when we give to those who have hurt us, our enemies, that's hard. And that's the essence of Christianity, giving back when we don't want to, when it's most difficult, doing the hard thing. And it says that you will heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord will reward you. I think this kind of combines a couple of scriptures that we've read. Don't put yourself in a place that, you shouldn't be, seeking honor for yourself. The Bible is so relevant. The Bible is so relevant today. I think this reminds me of just people posting stuff just to make themselves look good. But don't forget, anything that you see on social media is that one little small snippet of someone's life. It is not their entire life. And don't compare your entire life and everything about, what's going on with you to someone's one good moment. And again, having that self-control, it is not good to eat much, honey. So you can have the good things, but have some self-control. And again, self-control. I've done so many videos on this, and it's something that if you have no self-control, even when it comes to food, money, if you don't have self-control with your money, if you don't have self-control with sin and temptation, it's like a city broken into and without walls. You can let anything into it, even the things that we don't need. So it's really important to maintain that self-control. And I've done videos on that before. So that's it. That's all I have for today. I am so sorry if you hear my very loud children screaming. I just really needed to get this filmed. So please join me for tomorrow. I post a video every single day during the month of January 2021 at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But normally I post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I can't wait to study the Bible with you again. Bye.